Hey, if you like all things Disney and scrapbooking about Disney, then this video is for you. Welcome back to another video in my Documenting Magic series. And before we get started, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and press the bell indicator. That way you'll know each and every time a new video is posted to this channel. So I am cruising along at very slow turtle speed on this album. The next story in my album is about us going to Chef Mickey's. So at this point, we had driven in from Alabama, where we spent the night. We drove from Texas to Orlando. We stopped in Alabama to spend the night. The next morning we get up, we head into Orlando. Now from the southern border of Alabama into Orlando is about 6 hours. And so I figured we'd get there about 3 o'clock or so, based on whatever time we were leaving Alabama, and then we'd have enough time to get to our dinner reservation at Chef Mickey's. However, that was not the case, so I'll come back to that in just a second. Now I'm showing you some of the product that I'm using. I'm using a lot of stuff from Say Cheese 1, 2, and 3. That's by Simple Stories. I'm also using some Echo Park materials as well, and I think that collection's called like Magic Moment or something. I forget. I'll post. No, it's called Whimsical Wish Upon a Star. Wow, I had that totally wrong. It's called Wish Upon a Star. So a link to all of the available products that are featured in this video is going to be posted down in the description box below. Some of the links are affiliate links, which means it's free for you to use, but I do get a small commission from those links, so I do appreciate your support in that. So as you can see, I have a lot of things. I have stickers, I have chipboard pieces, I have die cuts. So we're going to get this coming together real quickly. So I'm going to start out with a 12 by 12 leading page, and this is also going to include some pocket pages as well. So that Mickey die cut that you see there, I actually created that on my silhouette, and the title Chef Mickey I created on my silhouette. I'm going to do a separate video on how I created that, so don't worry, I will do a separate video and post that really quickly so you'll know how I made it. It's very, very simple. So I went to my silhouette, I made those two die cuts, my title and that Mickey silhouette, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an anchor. I have some pattern paper from the Say Cheese collections, and I also have this photo. Now this was a PhotoPass photo that we took upon arriving at the restaurant, and they usually have you do this before you go in for your reservation. Now Chef Mickey's is located in the Contemporary Resort, which is beautiful, at Walt Disney World. And we were running late because we got caught up in Orlando traffic, and it didn't matter what detour we took, we always ran into some sort of traffic, and it was so frustrating. And what made it worse is that we had planned 18 months for this trip. This is our first family trip to Walt Disney World. My spouse and I had been to Disneyland before, and we were so super excited, and I had everything all mapped out and planned out. We were going to be at our resort hotel at least by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We were going to relax. We had dinner reservations at 7. We were stuck in traffic. We didn't even get to go through the main entrance of Disney to see the beautiful arch sign that says "Welcome to Walt Disney World." We actually had to come in through the back way because the traffic was so bad, and my spouse and I just vowed that we are never, ever, ever going to drive to Orlando again. We are going to fly for our next trip. In fact, we're going back in Christmas of 2020. So we're on the highway, we're hitting this traffic, and our poor baby's in the back seat, and she is just as patient as she can be, but you can tell she is ready to get to Disney World. I'm ready to get to Disney World. Bree is behind the wheel. She's like, no matter what, I'm going to get us to Disney World. And we finally get there. We get out of the car. We see the castle in the background, because you can see that from the Castle of Magic Kingdom, Cinderella's castle. You can see it from Contemporary Resort. And we squealed. We immediately popped the trunk, got out our Mickey shirts, and hightailed it into the Contemporary up to Chef Mickey's. And that's where we had our kickoff dinner. We got there in about 5 minutes time, and of course Disney World's so gracious, they give you a grace period, so if you get to your dinner reservation a little bit late, it's okay. So we get there and we take a big breath and we compose ourselves, and we take this picture here in front of, or behind Mickey, and we were absolutely exhausted and excited and completely spent to be at Disney, and wanted to look at all the things and ready to enjoy our vacation. So that's the story behind Chef Mickey's, at least us getting there. Back to the layout. So what I did is I created an anchor with some pattern paper. I also created some layers behind my photo. That's a 4x6 photo. I adhered down that Mickey silhouette, which I will show you in a separate video, as well as the title that says Chef Mickey, and that font I think is called Walt Waltogram, like Walt Disney. But I will share all of that as well in another video to come, so don't worry. So I go ahead and get the Mickey silhouette positioned. I get the title positioned, the photo. I have 2 die cuts. One says, "Everyone say cheese," and another one is a tag, and I wrapped a little bit of twine behind the tag. I also have another tag that says, or not a tag, but a label that says "Believe," that I put on that red and white polka dot tag that, of course, looks like Minnie Mouse's dress. I also grabbed some die cut balloons that I pop up, well, at least one with a foam square and the other one I just adhere directly to the background. Now I'm going to bring out these flat back brads that are fantastic. Again, a part of the Say Cheese collection. That brad says "Happy Moments." And I want to use these wood veneer stars, but ultimately it's not going to work out. At the top of the photo, I placed 2 clips, one that came with the Say Cheese collection and the metal one with the Mickey head that was actually given to me. I also have this die cut that says "Magic Moments," and another die cut, I'm sorry, that's chipboard die cut that says "Magic Moments" there at the top of the photo, and then another chipboard die cut that says "Happy." I want to add in some stickers. This one that says "All Smiles" is not going to get used on the layout. I'm just kind of auditioning some sticker options there on the layout because I felt that I needed something else to layer. So instead, I use a sticker that says "Worth the Wait," that's under that Believe die cut. And then I'm going to grab another set of balloons. This is from one of the sticker sheets, the Say Cheese sticker sheets. So I'm going to pop that up. Here comes those wood veneer stars again. It's not going to work, so I set it to the side. I'm going to add a little tab at the top that says "Memories," because you know I love tabs on my layout. And I'm going to call the first part of this layout "Done." So again, mostly all the materials here are from the Say Cheese 1, 2, and 3 collection. I think there might be a couple of things from Say Cheese 4, but also some Echo Park as well. All the links are posted down below. Now I'm going to work on the 12 by 12 pocket page. Now this is something that I like to do when I have a lot of photos and I can't decide which ones I want to scrapbook. I want to do a traditional scrapbook, but I also want to add a lot of photos. I'm going to add a pocket page to this. In fact, I'm going to add a 12 by 12 pocket page and a 6 by 12 pocket page. I'm going to keep each of these pockets very simple, mainly because my 12 by 12 leading page has so many layers and so many details. Also, I don't particularly go all out on pocket cards to begin with. So I like just a little bit of detail and a lot of room for story. I'm going to break out some of these Kelly Perky stamps. This has a very much Disney themed, Disney feel to them. That was actually gifted to me by a scrappy friend. And what I'm going to do is to this card, the 6x6, or I'm sorry, 3x4 card, which comes from, I believe, the Say Cheese collection, is I'm going to add a sticker that says "All Smiles," and then I'm going to stamp "Document It" from that Kelly Perky stamp using some, I think that's called Red Riding Hood Red, or Red Riding Hood Red, I believe, from Stampin' Up. Next up, I'm going to pull out some stickers, again from the Say Cheese collection, and I'm looking at just a little something to accent there at the bottom of that 3x4 card that has a camera. Now, I'm not going to journal on this just yet because I have journaling that I wrote in a separate notebook, and I don't know where it's at. I think it's packed away somewhere. So I'm going to find that little journal and then I'll fill in all my journaling. Next up, I have a picture of the sign that's at Chef Mickey's. So I'm going to go ahead and put this die cut sticker that says "Happy." And then I'm going to find another label that I think I potentially want to use, but nope, never mind. I decide against that. I'm going to also add a couple of stickers here to this photo. This is us riding the elevator or escalator up to, I want to say Chef Mickey's is on the 2nd or the 3rd floor of the Contemporary. So I have this sticker banner which has a camera on it, and I took a label that says "Let the Memories Begin," because of course that's officially when our wonderful Disney vacation began. And I will tell you folks, I'm hooked. We will be going back to Disney very often. In fact, we have another trip scheduled next year, and my goal is to be able to go every year because I love it that much. Next up, there's the mouse himself. We were so excited. In fact, Mickey Mouse was the first that we saw. If you're not familiar with Chef Mickey's, that's a great character meal where you get to see the Fab Five. I love character meals because it saves you a lot of time in the parks, particularly if you want to ride rides and not have a lot of character interaction. You can reserve your character interaction at the character meals. So we had reservations for Chef Mickey's that we had planned well in advance. So I wanted to make sure for this spread that I at least put photos of all the characters we met. And at Chef Mickey's, you get to meet the Fab Five, which is great. So we got to meet Mickey and Minnie during the first part of our dinner. And then, of course, the other characters came around as well, which was so exciting. So I'm adding some labels to both of those photos. One that says the mouse, and the bottom it says photo op with a bow, because, of course, Minnie is known for her beautiful bow. So there goes that. Flipping the page, I'm going to start with this top card here to the right-hand side. Now, with the Say Cheese collection, the 3x4 cards and the 4x6 cards all come pretty much decorated with some type of embellishment or design on it. This makes it really, really easy to create a beautiful layout without having to worry about the design. You can add just some extra little features to it, little design elements, and you're good to go. And that's how I'm approaching the pocket scrapbooking for this. Not all of my pages will be pocket scrapbooking, but if I have a lot of photos, I'm going to mix a traditional layout spread, like a 12x12 or an 8.5x11, along with a pocket spread so that I can add more photos to that spread. All right, so with the Echo Park Wish Upon a Star collection, I'm using these chipboard pieces. These letters spell out the word smile, and I love the design of these letters. I'm also going to add some labels from one of the Say Cheese sticker sheets. That one says, Best Day Ever. And then there's a smaller sticker that says, Smiles from Ear to Ear. And that card basically does a lot of the work for me, so that's all I add. I'm going to stick that back in the pocket. Next up, I have another journaling card, which I'm going to come back and add all the journaling later. To this 3x4 pocket card, I'm going to add a chipboard piece that says Goofy, because the next photo that's coming up in that spread is a photo of my daughter and Goofy. The character interactions by far are fantastic at Disney World and at Disneyland, and we had so much fun. My daughter was just smiling from ear to ear. There was so much going on at the dinner to definitely keep you entertained. It was fun. It was absolutely fun. All right, to this card, I'm going to add another sticker, and that is a camera. I'm going to call that one done. So I have another 3x4 pocket card. I'm going to use this little chipboard piece that says Say Cheese. I'm going to audition a couple of pieces there before I actually commit to that. It's a little scallop circle. I'm going to flip that card around, and I'm going to add this chipboard piece. I'm adding a little bit of liquid adhesive to these chipboard pieces because they tend to fall off in humid Texas weather. So I want to make sure that it stays on nice and good. To that, I'm going to add some enamel dots, and this is from the Simple Story Say Cheese 2 collection, I believe. And I'm just going to add just a little bit because I want some more texture and some more whimsy to that 3x4 pocket card. The picture that this is going to is a picture of my daughter and Donald Duck, which is great. Another fantastic interaction with a character at that meal. And then the last thing I want to add just a little bit to these bottom photos. These are probably my favorite photos that I took of that night. That's my daughter, who I think she saw Minnie Mouse coming around the corner and her face just lit up. She had just turned 8 before we went on our Walt Disney World vacation. And there she is, swirling her napkin around. This is something that they do as part of the entertainment there at Chef Mickey's. And she was just delighted. I mean, her face just lit up. It was so much fun. I can't even describe it. It was just a really great experience. And I just love seeing her smiling and giggling and interacting with all the characters. To that photo, I'm going to add a little chipboard piece that says Awesome from Simple Stories. And then I'm going to add this little trio of hearts, and I think that's from the Simple Story Say Cheese 4 collection. I think that one's a little bit more of a whimsical type design. All right, so the back part of this 12x12 is all done. Again, just a little bit of details there, not too overboard, but it still looks very nice. Now to finish up this layout, I am going to create a 6x12 pocket. So at the top is a photo of my dinner, and then the middle photo is of Corinne by all the desserts. I firmly believe that if you're going to go to Disney World or Disneyland, let your kids have whatever the heck they want. Whatever. If they want to have, cookies for dinner, go for it. Why not? My kids certainly enjoyed tons of desserts. In fact, we all did. All right, so next to the photo is a 3x4 pocket card, again from the Say Cheese collection. I'm going to stamp on this image that says Smiles from Ear to Ear. And I'm using, again, some of that, I think it's called Red Riding Hood Red or Robin Red or something like that from Scrappin' Up. I forget the title of that ink. I'm going to stamp that on there. It looks really nice. I love that stamp. I love the design. And then to that, I want to add some little tassels. And this comes as a part of the sticker sheet from one of the Say Cheese collections. I want to say that's Say Cheese 4. So I'm just going to go ahead and layer those on there. And it looks like it was printed on the card as is. I will also want to add a little heart to the bottom, just a little bit more embellishing, and then I'm going to add a little gold star to bring some yellow there to the bottom, and we're good to go. So picture of my dinner, my daughter, and then the desserts. We had lots of desserts. I had a full dessert bar, which it's gluttonous, but it's fantastic. At the top, I'm going to add a sticker, and this is a red and white polka dot sticker, and then to that, I'm going to add a little phrase that says, "I love this place." Now, overall, Chef Mickey's wasn't the best meal that we had at Walt Disney World, but it's good. If you are going to Walt Disney World for the first time, it's a very much highly recommended kickoff place for you to have breakfast, lunch, or dinner to kick off your trip. It's not probably going to be the best meal that you have, but it's not bad. We definitely enjoyed ourselves and we filled our bellies. I added the sticker that says, "I love this," because the desserts were fantastic. And there we go. The front part of that 6x12 is all done. So now I'm going to flip to the back. So here is a photo of my daughter and I have this pocket card that says, "Growing old is mandatory, but growing up is optional." And that's a quote from Walt Disney, which of course is absolutely true. When I am in Disney properties, this is my first time for Disney World, but I've been to Disneyland a few times. I absolutely love it. I want to be in the Disney bubble and I never want to come out. And my kid is the same way. At the top of that photo there, I'm sorry, at the bottom of the photo, it says, "We're all ears." My daughter and I were wearing our beautiful mini ears, which we pretty much wore all throughout our drive from Texas into Orlando, or our stop in Alabama, and then of course from Alabama into Orlando. And it's probably one of my favorite pictures that she and I have taken together during the trip. Alrighty, next up I have a label there on that photo of my daughter eating her yummy desserts, and so of course I'm going to aptly title this Yum. I'm using that label as an anchor for those letter stickers. Those both come from one of the Say Cheese 2 or 3 sticker sheets, I believe. Next up I want to add a little star just to accent it a little bit more. I'm just poking out those middle sections of the star, and there we go. Very simple embellishing. It doesn't have to be complicated. Particularly when you're scrapbooking major trips like Walt Disney World, you want to keep it simple. At least I do. I like keeping it simple and clean. Now the very last thing I'm going to do on this layout is I want to embellish this photo of my daughter and Pluto. So there is a sticker there that says "Totally worth the wait." I also added some enamel dots, so I'm going to call it good. So this layout is done. The story of Chef Mickey is in the books. Of course, this layout features a 12x12 traditional layout with that main photo of my family and I that we took before we started our dinner reservation at Chef Mickey's. To that, I added a 12x12 pocket page to further extend the story and to add more photos. And then, of course, I have a 6x12 pocket page as well with the remaining photos that I wanted to have for this story, along with a little bit of additional journaling spots. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to add in the journaling later when I find my notebook that has all my notes about the trip. Now again, to see stills of this layout, make sure you head on over to the Victoria Marie blog. The link is posted down in the description. And I'm going to continue to plug away at this project. I know it's taken me a long time, but just bear with me. It will be definitely worth the wait. I should have another video coming up, hopefully within the next week or so in this series. This video was made possible in part by the Victoria Marie Scrap Boss patrons. To learn how you can support Victoria Marie Designs, click on the link down below. And before you go, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. When you do, click the bell indicator. That way you'll know each and every time a new video is posted.